When you say what your job is now, we're sort of not used to see you standing in the corner for extended periods like that. Is that a change in the team approach that has cast you that way? And for you to be your best version of yourself, can that be your role and you thrive to the best of your ability?
It can be my role here, um, but I mean that's not what I'm used to being. I haven't been that since I don't know my first, second, third year in the league, where I just went out there and played defense. But I competed, I guarded, I try not to let my man score. But that's what I'm doing. Do I want to see happen? Um, I want to see me get my joy back from playing basketball, and wherever that may be, um, we'll find out here pretty soon. But I want to joy back. I'm happy here, you know, off the court, but I want to be um, back to somewhat dominant. I want to hoop, and I want to help this team win. Right now, I'm not doing that.
Can you get your joy back here on the court?
Probably not.
Heard that Jimmy Butler has officially asked for a trade and he's done it publicly. Now, this is the worst secret kept in NBA history. I mean, the fans knew, the NBA knew, players knew, coaches knew, the teams knew. I'm pretty sure teams were offering packages before the world even knew about it. And I think something had happened yesterday that got him tight and made him come to the podium and say this shit at the mic in the post-game interview. For the fact that Jimmy Butler, who signed to this team for their culture and how they play, and I guess he wanted them to play through him, which they were doing for a while, for him to come to the podium and say this, it's kind of crazy to me. And why? Because you never know if it's contract things or if it's like the way he's playing, because he did say that they had him just standing in the corner and spot up shooting and stuff like that, and he's like a 3-and-D type of guy, and that's not the type of game he wants to play, and he hasn't played that since the first 3 years of the league. But to be honest with you, I think it's deeper than that. Because look at this right here. He just said that he have suspended Jimmy Butler for 7 games for misconduct. I mean, let's be serious. You telling me you suspended him now for misconduct throughout the whole season? That's a lie. They suspended him because he came out publicly and stated that he wants to trade. And he said he'd rather play anywhere else but Miami. And when the person asked him, do you think you could get your joy for basketball back here on this court? And he said no. Straight up just said no. So clearly the Heat feel away. I don't know if they suspended him because of that, but I'm pretty sure it's because of that. There's no other reason to suspend him. Now, where is Jimmy Butler going? I personally feel like there's only 2 ways he could go. He could either go to the Timberwolves, which would be a crazy, ironic trade because he left the Timberwolves to go, I think it was to Philly and then went to Miami. But he could go to the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves are going to have to give up a lot of young talent though, which I don't think they want to do. He could go to the Suns for Bradley Beal, and I don't know who else they could include. I don't know what picks they could include, and they might have to include a 13 for that trade. But that is possible. Or he could go to the Nuggets for Jamal Murray. Now, before anybody goes crazy and shit, I don't think Jamal Murray or Jimmy Butler are going to be traded by this trade deadline. I don't care what Jimmy Butler says. I don't think he's going to be traded by this trade deadline. I know everybody is saying, oh my God, Jimmy Butler's going to leave, da da da. I think it's going to be in the offseason. He might be complaining. He might play like absolute garbage. He might do his hardest to get out of this team. He might play worse than he ever did in his entire life. But he's not going to be traded by this trade deadline. I promise you, I don't think the Heat are that dumb. Unless they get a crazy package where they can get like a Bradley Beal or some young talent. And this might be hard for them to get depending on who they trade with and who they are trying to get Jimmy Butler to by the trade deadline, if that's their goal. Which I'm pretty sure they're trying to get rid of him as soon as possible. I think they're done. I think they are tired of Jimmy Butler. And I'm thinking every team in the league would love to have a Jimmy Butler. As I stated already, teams that want to win a championship that are not all the way there yet, like the Suns, they would love to have Jimmy Butler. If you look at the Timberwolves, I'm pretty sure they would love to have Jimmy Butler. I mean, they've been looking for a way to get their offense going. They've been looking for a way to get Anthony Edwards going and to the point where he's not struggling offensively, and Jimmy Butler can fix that. And maybe even the Pacers, even though I'm against teams like the Pacers trading the young guys because there's a lot to grow and you don't have to rush the process, but they can trade for Jimmy Butler and he can help. I just don't think it's the best idea unless you can really put this team together quickly, or else you just waste the young talent for no reason. Or I would hope the Nuggets would trade for him if it waits on to the offseason. But I don't think the Nuggets are going to get rid of Jamal Murray for the simple fact that Jamal Murray is great in the playoffs. Like when it comes down to playoff games and games where Jokic needs help scoring and games where you need a game-winning three and stuff like that, Jamal Murray is always there for Jokic. And I don't think the Nuggets are willing to let go of Jamal Murray yet. I think they have hope. I think considering the fact they just won a championship like 2 years ago, I don't think they're going to let go. I think they're going to depend on Jokic throughout the regular season. And then in the playoffs, they're going to depend on Jamal Murray to step up and help Jokic. Now, if that doesn't happen, then yes, they might trade Jamal Murray. But I really, really doubt they will get rid of Jamal Murray. Especially not for a 35-year-old or 36-year-old Jimmy Butler. I don't think the Nuggets are going to do that to Jamal Murray. The Thunder, I really would hope they would not do no shit like this. The Thunder look great this year. They look amazing. They have, in my opinion, the best team chemistry right now, and they work together. I mean, you could like look at yesterday's game when they went up against the Clippers. There's games like yesterday where Shea puts up 29 points and they find a way to win. There's games where he puts up 40 points and they find a way to win. There's games where he puts up 20 points and they find a way to win. This team is on a 13-game winning streak, and if any team shouldn't rush the process, it's the Oklahoma City Thunder. They should stay away from this trade, and please, I know nobody's even talking about it, but I really hope they don't try to come out of nowhere and do this. And then the Kings, it's possible. If you want to get rid of De'Aaron Fox, it's possible. I just don't know if Jimmy Butler is going to love playing there. I think that team is built around De'Aaron Fox, and if Jimmy Butler goes there, it can help. Obviously, his defense, his offensive effort, the playing style, everything he does can help the team. But I don't know how much. And if you can get them to the 8th seed, then he could fight in the playoffs. Now that we're done with Jimmy Butler, let's get into yesterday's games. First, Celtics, Timberwolves. I thought for a while this game was going to be straight threes. I mean, in the first quarter, they combined for like 30 to 40 threes. First half ended, I think both teams had 30 threes each attempted. The Timberwolves looked like they were really cashing in on their threes. The Celtics, honestly, it was cool for them in the first half. They weren't really bombing their threes like that. Pritchard, Sam Hauser went crazy from the three-point line. Jason Tatum hit like 1 or 2 in the first half. And the third quarter came, and this is when the Celtics really locked in. This is when they held the Timberwolves down. I mean, they played defense. They forced the Timberwolves off the three-point line, and everybody kind of struggled from three except 3 players in this third quarter, which is Dante DiVincenzo, and then you have Jaden McDaniels and Julius Randle. I don't know how Julius Randle hit so many threes yesterday. I mean, when I remember him playing on the Knicks, there was nights where he would hit threes and he's on, like yesterday. And there's nights when he's off and he's just taking shots and you're like, yo, bro, please don't take another shot. Just pass the ball. But yesterday when he was playing against the Celtics, it felt like he just couldn't miss. Now, mind you, the Celtics did go in shorthanded. They didn't have Jaylen Brown. They didn't have Kristaps Porzingis. But they pulled a win. And they could have lost this game. Fourth quarter came. Timberwolves got it going. I think Jason Tatum had picked up a technical. Then they hit a free throw. And then it was a 3-point shot. And it was a tie game. Then before you know it, Celtics up 3 points with like a couple seconds left. And you're thinking to yourself, damn, Celtics got the ball. This could be an easy 2 or it can be a 3. But I really hope they just take a 2 and they'll foul on the other end. Jason Tatum missed a shot. It was like a 17-footer. He missed the shot. Then the Timberwolves had a chance to tie it. They give the ball to Ant, and it was over. He bricked, and then the Celtics got lucky. They could have easily lost this game. And Jason Tatum went off in the third quarter. He put up like 16 points in the third quarter. This is the second time back-to-back where a player on the opposite team puts up a double-digit third quarter in scoring against the Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards, cool game. Wasn't really that aggressive. I think he needs to be more aggressive than what he is. He needs to look for his shot a lot more throughout the game. Because Jason Tatum ended the game with 31. Anthony Edwards tried to get his shit going in the fourth quarter. Wasn't really all the way there. I mean, it was kind of too late in my opinion. It felt like the Celtics kind of had the game. Then we had the Sixers go up against the Warriors, and this was a Warriors bloodbath from the beginning. I mean, they came in just bombing threes. Everything was going. You look at this Warriors team, and you look at the same Warriors team that went up against the Suns and the Cavs, and you would not think it's the same team. You would think they had new players because the way they were shooting their threes and hitting them. I mean, Dennis Schroeder, Moses Moody, and then Steph Curry had like 8-9 threes. The Sixers had no response for this Warriors team. They couldn't defend them. They couldn't shoot with them. They couldn't score with them. Nothing worked. Paul George had it going in the second quarter. I thought he's about to really get on the roll and start hitting shots and show us the Paul George that we saw in the Clippers. But that didn't come through. He ended up picking up 2 early fouls in the first half. And then I don't know what ended up happening from there. Tyrese Maxey was heavily guarded by Dennis Schroeder. And he held him to like 11 points. Joel Embiid tried to get it going in the third quarter. Wasn't all that. Wasn't impactful. Didn't really do much. And the rest of the Sixers just didn't play that well. And then Steph Curry just counteracted whatever Joel Embiid did. And honestly, his game was over as soon as it started. I don't think the Sixers took a lead not one time. I don't think this game was tied not one time. And the Warriors looked like they might have turned time. They look like they might have flipped the switch, and there might be a whole new team this year. Lakers beat the Trailblazers. Thank God. I would have been so upset if they would have lost to the Trailblazers. I mean, this Lakers team should not be losing to any Trailblazer team at all, considering the fact they're young and they don't really got much. Even though it took a 38-point game from LeBron James and he almost had a triple-double, Austin Reeves almost had another triple-double, but as long as they pulled out the win, I guess none of that other shit matters. And a 38-point game from LeBron James, who just hit 40 years old, is insane. I would have been upset if they lost this game. Thunder, as I stated before, amazing game. 13-game win streak going up against the Knicks in an hour from now. And hopefully that game lives up to the hype. Both teams are on a winning streak, double digits win streak, and hopefully this game really is not a sweep. Hopefully nobody gets blown out, and I hope it goes down to the wire. But anyways, y'all, thank you so much for coming out to the locker room. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. This is Real Talk with E, and safety.